And welcome to In-Game Chat for Saturday, July 15th, 2017. It's Season 11, Episode 27. I'm a pirate. I'm Scott.
I'm RJ.
Or are you the Phantom of the Opera?
There's that, too.
I'm Matt.
Welcome to the show, everybody. If you'd like to get in touch with us, our phone number is 334-272-9228. Check out ingamechat.net for all the links to get in touch with us. You can find us on Twitter. You can find us on In-Game Chats. Well, that's where we're at on Twitter. You can also find us on Facebook at that name as well. You can email us, everyone, at ingamechat.net. We're streaming the cam feed right now through Twitch. Head over to twitch.tv. Log in. Well, you don't have to log in. You can just go up to the search bar at the top. If you can pull yourself away from Evo, which is currently streaming all weekend long, and that's going to be hard to do, I get it, but there's a search bar at the top. Type in game chat, and you'll be able to find us. You can watch the show live while we broadcast. You can chat with everybody who's in the chat room live while we broadcast as well. So, anyway.
How you doing?
I have a condition, and I'm really not kidding when I say this. I actually do have a condition. Blepharitis. Blepharitis. Blepharitis, I believe, is how that works.
I think you just won the spelling bee.
Yeah, I know. This is what it is. Starting Tuesday morning, I woke up and it felt like my eye was sore, like it'd been hit. It was bruised, and it felt like I was just getting a sty, is what it felt like.
Or like an ingrown eyelash, or
yeah. As the days went on, it got bigger and bigger. The eyelid started swelling up, and I've got pictures on my Facebook page of Jay Scott where you can see those. But it started drooping under the eye, and it's kind of freaky to wake up and see that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, did I have a stroke in my sleep and I don't know about it? So it it started getting that way. So I went to a doctor yesterday. This is 4 days into it. I go to a doctor, and it's a doc in the box, man. It's just it's not my family physician or anything like that. So I go there, and they say, well, here's the thing. Normally you get a sty, and then you get the blepharitis. We don't see a sty anywhere. So you've obviously gotten blepharitis first, and here's a sheet on that that's like, hey, it's going to take 6 to 12 months. 6 to 10, was that it?
6 to 12.
6 to 12 months for recovery.
Full recovery.
I'm like, holy cow. Well, anyway, this morning I wake up, and it's doing the thing. Every time I wake up in the morning, it looks worse and worse. So I wake up this morning, I'll take a look at it, and I look a little bit closer into the corner of my eye, and I start to see a head. Like there's a head.
Oh, don't pop it! Don't pop it!
No. They told me very much, like, do not pop this thing. So I'm gonna remove my hand so everybody can see this now. And now it's all watery. But
you look like you got punched.
I know, yeah. But my eye has not been great. Before I go further,
that's what he did to the other guy.
So yeah, this eye has just been giving me an issue, and
like, can you still see out of it pretty well?
Oh God,
or?
Yeah, totally.
It just hurts.
It doesn't hurt actually. It feels sore, like a bruise.
Okay.
So there's a little bit of soreness there, but it does not hurt.
Looks like your whites are a little red too.
Yeah, no, that's probably just from me holding it over like this and whatever. So, also I'm very, very tired. Yeah, I know. Stop touching it. Well, it's watery right now, and I need to get that. I need to dampen it. Whatever.
Dab your eye.
Something like that. So,
I heard, my mom was a nurse, and so, when I said in the Twitter that, like, use a baby shampoo to clean it.
Yeah, the doctor said that, some kind of shampoo that you can clean that with, or some kind of soap that you can clean it with. But
yeah, don't use lava soap.
No. It has started forming a head here, and I'm hoping that it'll go away. So, yeah. That's what I've been dealing with.
I'm just hoping it's going to be quicker than 6 to 12.
I know. I'm hoping this thing will pop or just whatever. Now that it's got the head, it'll do its thing and go away.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. I have an itch right at the corner of that eye. Anyway, so that's how I've been dealing with it. Yeah. Everyone's like, keep your hands clean. Keep your hands clean. Yeah, I know. Clean hands.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So had to do for one of our other stations, which I'm wearing the shirt for, to do a live broadcast today. So I was at it from 12 to 2.
We had a remote?
Mm-hmm. At a pool. Which I didn't get into the pool, but you know how pools are built. They're right there in the middle of the sun.
Yeah, and it was hot today.
Very, very hot today.
I was working on a porch, a deck, like a little decking.
Yeah. So I am completely trained to finish.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
Leia is really encouraging you.
I know. It's like, stop touching it.
That's what my parents used to tell me when I was growing up.
I know.
And what did you do?
I
kept touching it.
didn't.
Yeah.
So I've been dealing with this. I tried a little bit, to go into the games that we play. I finished up Old Blood.
Yay!
Good job.
That was an interesting ending.
Yes, it was.
An interesting ending compared to the ending I had for
New
Order, right?
Yeah.
I mean, New Order, I'm fighting. Obviously, I understand that I'm fighting somebody who's been, like, not really cyborged, but like
mechanized.
Yeah, mechanizing the machine. But the ending of this one was just, what? It felt a little bit on the cartoony side, and I really can't give that. I can't look at it too badly like that because it's Wolfenstein that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I wasn't pleased with that ending as much. I like the song at the end that I can't remember, but I wasn't really pleased with that ending. But I got it over with. So, we already got our phone call. So Matt's going to answer that. But I played that, and then I immediately jumped into Dishonored 2 for all of, I don't know, 10 minutes. Basically, I watched the intro. I selected, what's the girl's name?
What are you talking about?
Dishonored 2.
What's
the girl's name?
Emily.
Yeah.
Caldwin.
I selected.
I remember that from last week.
Yes, and I'm glad you did. I selected her.
Okay.
And
because I'm doing Corvo.
Right, so locked me into the room. I got out of the room, and I really haven't gone any further.
I'm guessing it's Corvo that gets trapped in stone.
Yeah. Why does she get trapped in stone in the other way? Yeah. So yeah, no. He gets trapped in stone. I get sent to a room. I escape the room, and then I stop playing. A little thing popped up on my computer saying, "Hey, your memories." Blah, blah, blah. I was like, "Oh, it's going to be one of these where I have to close out Google and close all my tabs and everything else and play this, without anything else running." Yeah. So that's what that kind of game is going to be. So I left it alone. Haven't gone back to it since, mainly because of this. And by this, I was pointing to my eye. That's why I haven't gone back to it. It's really annoying. Really, really, really annoying. It's annoying, by the way, not painful. A lot of people are like, oh, it looks painful, because it looks like you get punched in the eye and you got a black eye or something. It's not painful at all. It is annoying. It does have a bruise type feel to it. Mm-hmm. Like when I shut my eye, it feels really sore around here, but
if there's pressure on it, you're going to feel...
Yeah, but if I keep it shut, pain goes away, Mm-hmm. So it's just... I guess maybe the movement or something, and it's just really.
I mentioned in the chat room. You think, and not being serious, being completely serious here. Do you think you need a eye patch later on, something to keep stuff out of it?
I would love one just for the fact of having an eye patch, but
it's gotta have a.
I don't think so. It has now what it look. If I went to a doctor today, and they looked at it. By the way, I'm not touching it. I'm just scratching right under it because there's an itch. If I went to the doctor today, I think they would look at it and say, "Oh, it's a sty. See, no, I got a little head there. It's a sty." So, I think they would say it's a sty, and I think that's exactly what it is. And so now I keep putting the ointment on that they gave me, and I can't remember the name of the ointment, but there's some ointment they gave me. So I just keep putting that on, and I keep putting a warm compress on the eye, and that's it. I just keep doing that. So, and just wait for it to go away. I don't think it's going to be the
6 to 12 months.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be the 6 to 12 months thing. I hope it's not going to be the 6 to 12 months thing. I don't know. They'll let me on the plane when I go to Seattle if that's the case.
No.
Like, hey, you're infected. Don't get on this plane. I don't know.
I'll go in your place.
But I did not. I really, really played very, very little this week. I did get my Destiny beta code. I went ahead and ordered the digital version for PS4 because I know me, and I mean I'm going to play this thing for a very long time, and I want it digitally because then it's downloaded, and I don't have to switch discs back and forth and that sort of thing. So I just know how I'm going to do it. If I decide to go PC at some point, I'll look into buying it so I can get the Steelbook just to complete the collection. But I went ahead and pre-ordered through Best Buy so I could get my $10. They have, if you're part of the Gamers Club and you pre-order certain games, you'll get $10 back in rewards credits, which is great. But a lot of the times that's only for physical. Well, this year they have expanded that into digital. While you won't get the usual percentage off, like if you buy physical, if I bought Destiny 2 right now physical at Best Buy, I would get it for about $47 because that's the percentage you get off. But digital, they don't do that. So I'm still paying full price for the digital version, but I still get my $10 back in credit. So that's nice. And I think Super Mario Odyssey is part of that deal, and there's a couple of others that are part of that deal as well, if you're a Gamers Club Unlocked member. Look, Moltel, I know, PCD2, yes, I get it. But I'm telling you, they're releasing it at a stupid time of the year. A stupidly busy time of the year.
Yeah.
October the 27th is littered with gaming goodness. From New Colossus to Assassin's Creed Origins to Super Mario Odyssey to Stranger Things Season 2 comes out the same day. So, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
There's another one I keep on forgetting about that I'm really interested in.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff pulling for my attention, and Destiny 2 being released on PC at that date is kind of at the low end because I'll have already played it on PS4 because it's releasing 7 weeks earlier. Just, saying that. So, anyway, Matt, what have you played? Just moving on.
Played some more Players Unknown with Kevin. We're slowly getting better. Not dying immediately, but I mean
Are you just playing with Kevin? Are you playing with anybody else?
Right now just Kevin.
Okay.
Because James is working and Nate also works, so we'll get together just in our spare time when we can, when schedules align. Decided to go back into my old backlog. Well, not backlog, but old school games, and busted out my flight stick and was doing X-Wing Alliance, just because I really miss flying around in the Star Wars universe. So been doing that a little bit, and I tried streaming last night the Until Dawn from the PlayStation Plus, but unfortunately I was having some audio issues with my microphone where I guess maybe luckily people couldn't hear me screaming as much as I did. So I'm going to try it again with a different microphone setup, and yeah, because I got the camera and I was like, all right, I'll have it where I could see the camera, but I don't know, it said the chat room was blocked for some reason, so I wasn't getting it. If anyone was trying anything on the chat, it wasn't coming through.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, I know.
Huh.
So
I watched a little bit of you playing that, but last night I just gotten back from the doctor, and I was really, first off, I was tired because I'd been up since 4:30. Secondly, it was already 7, and I'd finally gotten home because I went to watch a movie after work. I went to see Apes after work.
Oh man, I need to see that.
Then on a whim, honestly, I'm driving home, and I said, because I was gonna let this thing play out. I was like, let me stop at the Pri-Med and get this looked at. So I went in there, had that looked
that's good
at.
that you did.
They sent me to the pharmacy to pick up my prescription, so I had to drive across town to get that. Got that, finally got home, and there were still other things I had to do. I still had to get the music for this week's episode.
Yeah.
I had to get a lot of things in order because my broadcast this morning started at noon, and it was back at home.
Oh,
so I had to drive 20 minutes in,
just to
get
go
all
back
the station equipment, and then
the other
drive
direction.
20 minutes back to where I just came from.
Yep.
And then do the broadcast out there. And so I had to come in early to bring all the stuff in here because I wasn't going to get that opportunity and then go do that. So my night last night was really short.
I bet.
So I checked in to see how the thing was going, and I was like, hey, you couldn't get
issues.
But, and then I went back to grabbing this music and then pretty much going to bed. So.
Have you seen the other previous two Planet?
Rise and Dawn?
Yeah.
Totally.
Was this a good continuation of?
I watched a lot of them. Yeah, if we want to jump into movies real quick.
Because I'm really interested in it because I like the other ones.
Who's on?
Nate.
Our Nate?
I don't know. You just said Nate, and I said okay.
Oh.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. I don't know. Anyway.
I'd take him.
Well, no, I'm still going to take the call. But
Okay.
if it was our Nate, I was going to bring him in for the conversations.
I'm not sure.
Okay. It's fine. It doesn't matter. We'll still get the call. Let's see. So, yeah. This is this is not a bad movie.
Okay.
And you really need to not think of the title and you're going to go in and watch like a big war type thing. You're not going to get that. There's very little war in a movie called War of the Planet of the Apes. There honestly is. There's a war, there's a fight at the beginning, and then there's a fight at the end. That's it. That's your fighting. That is all. In that, I was disappointed. Because I was like, I really love the what was it, Rise? Or was it Dawn? Dawn was the first one, and then Rise was the second. Rise was great. There's nice fights going on all the time through there. But not a lot of fights in this one, and that was kind of sad to see when it was called War. I expected a nice big war, but I didn't get that. However, I did get good... I got really good characters out of this.
All right.
Even though, like, the Caesar's whole thing is just... Andy Serkis is just phenomenal.
He's amazing.
The guy
Everything
is
he does.
phenomenal. And their CG on this is phenomenal. Seriously, if you go back and watch the first two, you can kind of see how it's developed. It's a lot like watching Toy Story and a couple of other movies as they've developed, and like, oh, it's much better. Because the first one, the CGI is really apparent. The second one is like, hey, this is so much better. This is looking good. And then this one, it's just, that's a monkey.
Yeah.
But it's really, really good. Really good. I love the movie, even though saying that there was like two parts of war in a front and a back type thing. I still enjoyed it. I still loved the struggle that Caesar has to go through in order to save his, I want to say his race, but his group, his
peeps.
Yeah, it's really interesting to talk about a movie like this because there's this whole social narrative that goes along with it. And there always has been. And Woody Harrelson is great in this too. It gives you a very Apocalypse Now vibe, and they like to beat you over the head a little bit too much with that whole Apocalypse Now vibe. But I mean, his name's the Colonel, for God's sakes. So yeah, he's got that sort of thing going for it, but he is so much more than like one trick or one, he's layered.
Okay.
So much better than what I thought. I thought he was just going to be Mr. Badass,
like one-dimensional.
Right, you're one-dimensional soldier guy. I'm the big top dog man. I'm going to take them all out type thing. And he's not like that at all.
I've read some reviews where it said you can understand his motivation for what he does in a movie.
But he has to tell you what that is. You don't at first. Mm-hmm. You really don't at first until he tells you what that is. Mm-hmm. And it's not that, and I still don't feel sympathy for the guy.
Yeah, I mean, but it said he's not a generic, typical villain. There's reasons for what he's doing, and
which is good because honestly, and this is another thing that I always complain about in movies when your hero and your big villain have their fight, and it's just doesn't live up to what it should be for what you've set up so far for these two to do. And that's the thing. When they have their confrontation, it is completely not anything like what I thought it was going to be. It was very... It wasn't... There was a whole lot more said in them not doing anything than if they did something. And it worked really, really well. For the three... And I don't know if they're going to do a fourth... I enjoyed the original 5-film run of Planet of the Apes. I really love that.
Then you had Tim Burton.
I don't even think about that one. I should go back and watch that because it's been a long time since I've seen it. But I should go back and look at it.
It's bad.
Still, but that five movie thing arc is not even an arc. It's a full loop. I mean, the fifth movie ends where the first movie begins. And I love films that do that. I think Terminator had that going for it up until they did like
3?
Genesis. No, actually 3 was the one that tied it into the first one, because that's when Skynet, at the end of 3, Skynet comes alive and it's like, oh, they've started Skynet, and it just kind of loops back and forth. So you could watch 1, 2, and 3 completely in a loop and you'd be at the same place. Obviously it's going to look a little different because one was 80 something or 79, 84?
No, it was
Was it 82 maybe?
The first Terminator? I'm going to say 86.
Really? You might be right. You might be right.
RJ?
I'll look it up.
He's going to look it up. But anyway, that's what I love about the original Planet of the Apes movie, is that 1 leads to 2, leads to 3, leads to 4, leads to 5, and then 5 leads right back into 1. And I loved how they set that wheel. I don't think they're doing that with these.
October 26, 1984.
84.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think they're doing that with these. If this is the end, they've made a fantastic trilogy for one character. You remember how I loved, like I don't want anything more to do with Ezio from Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Like you've told that man's story, right? You've told it from birth to death. You're done, and you've taken us along the entire trip for that thing in many different ways, in a buttload of games, and then also some animation stuff that you threw in there towards the end to show us how he lived his final days. You've told us everything you could about the character. And what they do with Caesar is the same thing. They have given us everything that they can give us on him, and I don't think they should continue it. I think you stop at 3, and you're good. Which I hate to say that because I would love... It's not that I was ever hoping that they would, but I would love to see how they could loop it back in just like the originals did. But unfortunately, the first one starts off... The first one with Heston from way back when starts off with, as you come to find out, time travel. And so once you've introduced that, then you can bring that loop around. Time travel there's nothing to do with time travel in these recent remakes. So hey, there's my Apes review. So there we go. RJ, we're gonna get to you in a second, but let's take this call from Nate. Hello, Nate.
Hey, it's Nate H.
It's Nate H. So it's not our Nate.
Okay.
It's the other Nate.
No,
I'm bad with hearing.
It's the other Nate.
Yeah. Hey, Nate.
That's okay. Hey, I wanted to say, first of all, Jay, this is a safe place, and I know you deal with workplace violence from time to time, so if something happened, you can tell us.
Nah, I ran into a door. I fell down some stairs.
Yeah. Sometimes it's as if Tyler's words were coming out of your mouth.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes it's as if I was speaking Tyler's words. Yeah, I know.
Hey, since you're on the movie kick, let me tell you, I went to see Baby Driver the other night.
Oh, see, I still need to see that.
Congratulations.
Excellent.
Isn't it?
Excellent movie.
I still need to see that. I saw Spider-Man.
And, I think, like, with Baby Driver, I saw how they used the idea from Guardians of the Galaxy to intertwine all these old musical songs into what was actually happening, and it really worked out well. I mean, I really think people are starting to take note about the score and how that relates to the movie.
Edgar Wright's good at that, though. Like, if you watch Shaun of the Dead, there's that classic scene in the Winchester when they're beating the owner zombie down with the pool
Queen
cubes.
is playing?
Queen.
Yeah.
Don't stop me now, and it's like
every
in
beat,
tune.
every hit is a beat on the drum. Yeah, I know he's teased it, but this is like a full movie in that regard, man.
Oh, really?
The entire movie is done in sync to music.
And the other thing I liked about it was, if you notice, they played a bunch of songs that people have used as samples in other contemporary music.
I know. So the game,
like,
the game.
You start to
Go ahead.
You start to think that you're about to hear like House of Pain jump around, and then it's actually the original sample that they used for that, and that was really cool too.
Yeah, wasn't that the Stones Harlem Shuffle? I think I can't remember.
So. And then they had like the one of the samples that Snoop Doggy Dogg used, and a couple other songs. It was really, really well thought out, I think.
No, it's fantastic, everything. And then like the Universal finally released the first scene of the movie online. And this first 6 minutes of the movie online, that first chase at the beginning, and like that's a great thing. And I posted on my Facebook page to show that off. So I was like, hey, go see this movie. Here's what you can expect. But the scene right after that is so much more impressive when he's walking to get coffee. That's it. He's walking to get coffee, and they have timed everything down to the graffiti on the wall that reads the lyrics of the song that's playing. And by the way, that thing was done in one take. They did that all in one shot, one take. It was the 27th take that they did, but it was the 27th take they used, and that's the one. That's the one that we see. It was also filmed in Atlanta. So
the other thing I loved about it was they didn't in the previews. They didn't even use the best scenes in the previews. They used good scenes to get you hooked to see the movie, but some of the car scenes are amazing. That he uses. All right, well, you have a good day.
All right, man. Thanks. Yeah, I don't want to stay on the movie kick too long. Who do we have?
Chris on too.
Chris is on too. Hey, Chris.
What's going on?
Hey, man, we're having movie chat at the moment, which sometimes
so you
happens.
enjoyed the new one, huh?
Oh, yeah, I enjoyed that very much.
I've been looking forward to go see that too. I've been enjoying the first, and I even like the second one even better.
Well, I saw you got your Final Fantasy stuff.
Oh yeah.
What is that? Final Fantasy what? What did you get?
Final Fantasy 12. That's the new
Zodiac.
remake.
No, it's not Zodiac. Final Fantasy 7 is Zodiac Age, isn't it?
No, Final Fantasy 12 is
No,
Zodiac
12. I'm
Age.
sorry. I don't know why I said 7. Yeah, 12. I'm sorry. X is 10.
Yeah.
Scott. X is 10 in Roman numerals. Yeah, not
Usually.
5. Whatever. I got one eye. Shut up.
You're pointing at Emily too much, aren't you?
Yeah, she didn't do any of this. This is complete. I mean, I know it's fun to joke about this stuff, and we have fun in the mornings to talk about it. But I mean, honestly, Emily and I do get along very, very well. We have fun on the show in that regard to pick back and forth at each other. But this honestly, I look at the list of all the ways that you can get this, and I can't figure out how in the hell I got this. I don't know how it happened. It talks about makeup, and I'm like, I ain't wearing makeup. You know, I have no idea, but now that the actual thing is forming there, I can tell you it's just
Random dumb luck.
It's just a dang old sty that has just developed into something first before it became that. So, what have you been playing, Chris? Anything lately?
This just Final Fantasy.
Yeah, enjoying it. Did you enjoy your collector's edition they sent you?
Oh yeah, especially enjoy setting up those skill systems in there. They call it gambits, where you basically program the characters. So you do this during certain circumstances where basically you can make it automatic, and where they act and fight the battles for you.
Yeah.
And
they fight the battles for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can.
Yeah, you don't even have to play it.
Yeah, you're just running around and watching everything unfold. But the cool thing is you can speed up the gameplay by 2 times or 4 times, and I've been going around on 4 times and just coring around and gaining experience and skill points and sets, having a blast doing that.
Well, great, man. We appreciate you calling in. I got one more call to take, and then I got to go to a break. So,
all right.
Talk to you later. Thanks for calling.
All right, bye.
And who is on?
Crawdad.
Crawdad is on line 3. Hey, Crawdad.
Hey, bud.
How you doing?
I'm just going to toss this in there real quick. Concerning your eye,
Yeah.
Dr. Greg Boudel recommends that you just rub some bacon on it.
Yeah, I know. Bacon's on.
Maybe that's how he got it in the first place.
Actually, you know what? Yeah, right. Putting bacon on your eye. He actually requested, or not requested, he actually suggested a ointment called Stye, S-T-Y-E, big red letters. And I went and got that tube for $11, by the way. It's a very, very small tube.
No kidding.
So then I go to the doctor, and the doctor recommends this prescription medication. Comes in the same size tube, $14. The ointments look exactly identical. The ingredients are just a bit different because one has some actual medicine in it. The other one
is Vaseline, right?
Yeah, well, mineral oil and
paprika.
Something else is in the Stye one. I can't remember because I didn't bring. I forgot everything that I was supposed to bring to work on this stuff today. I was going to bring my hot compress to clean it off after being in the sun all day. I was going to take my medicine. I didn't bring any of it. Totally forgot it all. So.
Oh, this is garbage.
What?
0.125 ounces.
Oh no, yeah. It's tiny. It's tiny.
$11 to $14.
Yeah.
6 to 12 months, right?
You hit your break.
Okay.
Yeah.
Y'all are doing movie time here. I watched a movie called Life.
All right, yeah, with Ryan Reynolds and.
is that the one where they're in space and they get the little alien thing, or is that the one with Eddie Murphy?
No, this is one where they get the life form from Mars and they culture it.
Because there's a movie back in the the late '90s. Because I was working at the theater when it came out. It was Life, Eddie Murphy, and Martin Lawrence in prison together back in the old South.
Yeah.
I remember that. So yes, Life I did watch as well. I watched that also.
The CGI in that was really astounding what they can do nowadays.
Yeah, they were completely fighting a thing that wasn't actually there.
That's right.
So,
and what really clinched it for me in the end, you were talking about how they have interjected, movies. Soundtrack is working a lot better now with movies because I've always been a Tom Newman and the Danny Elfman. I love soundtracks. I started collecting soundtracks to movies a long time ago. At the end of this Life movie, they throw in Greenbaum's Spirit in the Sky.
Oh, yeah.
That just really clinched the end of it for me. If you haven't seen that movie, it's a good one. It even makes you wonder if they couldn't pull a redo out of it and have the life form that has now done its thing, go for a whole nother movie out of it just about.
I was curious, you're not familiar probably with, I don't know how familiar you might be with comic books, but a lot of people were speculating on this movie as being some introduction to the character of Venom in the Spider-Man universe because Sony owns that property. And so, honestly, when I looked at this thing, I was like, that's kind of Venom-y.
Yeah.
You saw,
muscle
the thing?
and brain?
It's all black and stretchy and can do its thing.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, you haven't seen it yet?
No.
I mean, it does develop a form and shape towards as it gets bigger, but as it's like moving through the thing, it looks very Venom-y, whatever. And so a lot of people thought this was a very low-key introduction to introducing that character into a universe. That wasn't the case, but if they were, that would have been a great way to do it. So, but Crawdad, we got to run to a break, man. We're way behind. So, but thank you for calling in. I appreciate it, man.
Sure.
All right, we're gonna run because we are already 10 minutes behind on doing a break. Here's the first music. It is from Until Dawn in honor of Matt playing it last night.
Nice.
I was short on what I was gonna find. He's sitting there playing Until Dawn on the stream, and I thought, fine, I'll do Until Dawn. This is called Shadow of the Mountain. We'll be right back with Morning Game Chat after this. Welcome back to In-Game Chat. I'm Scott along with RJ and Matt. This is music, you probably don't recognize it because it was a game that just released yesterday on PS4. It's called Black the Fall.
Never heard of it.
Yeah. This has, when I saw the trailer for it, I honestly thought it was for a game that's coming out down the line. I didn't know it was getting, I saw the trailer Thursday and then it got released on Friday and I thought, well, that's fast. This game looks so much like Inside, it looks like it's completely ripped it off. I am not kidding. I watched a review of it with Jeremy, ACG, Angry Centaur Gaming, which I watched a review of it on his channel, and he seemed to enjoy it, and he made the comparisons of that. But the more I saw of that, and I'm coming off a really recent playthrough of Inside. And so I look at that and I'm like, this is so much of the same thing. Story is basically the same. You're this person who's been doing this, like you're in a machinery type place where they're using you as a worker, as a drone type of worker, like mind controlled. And then for whatever reason, you snap out of it and try to secretly escape the facility. And it's it's like a 2D side scroller type thing, with some 2.5D elements to it. Very, very much like
So the way you're
Inside.
describing that reminds me of Oddworld, Abe's Exodus.
Very much,
Or
yes. Well,
Abe's Odyssey.
Inside is the same way, and I don't think Limbo had that, but Inside had that way where you had multiple levels on a screen. But yes, very much like that. Side scrolling, every new screen is
Trying to escape from the factory.
a new scene you've got to move on to. Yeah.
I'm looking at images here, and it looks very much like Inside. Look at some articles here that said, Black the Fall will appeal to fans of Inside. If you like Inside, you'll like Black the Fall.
Right, exactly.
And little robot dog, too.
I don't necessarily know that I'll like it just for the fact that I just played Inside. And Inside ends in such a way that I don't really feel like moving on to another game like that. Because that ending kind of sits with you because it's so out of nowhere what it does. So have you played it, RJ?
No, I haven't played it.
Do you have it? I don't think you do.
No.
Matt, you don't have it?
No.
Okay. Well, if anybody's played it, then they know how it ends, and they can understand what I'm saying. That it's such a very strange ending. I don't know. I just don't want to play something exactly like that.
Well, yeah, like I said, you just played it.
I know. So maybe I can go back to it later. Normally, I'm not opposed to that on some games. Like if
does Inside have replay value?
No, it really
it's
doesn't.
Story-wide, you know the story. That's it. Yeah,
it really doesn't, especially when you get that ending.
Mm-hmm.
You get that ending, and it's like, all right. And then going back and playing through, no, that ending just sticks with you. So it's like, there's no reason. And there really is no reason to play through because there's one other ending, but you've got to find all these different things throughout the levels. And I looked it up, and that ending's actually very disappointed compared to the one we get. The one you just get playing the game.
Yeah.
So, it's actually more disappointing to get the secret ending than it is to get the real ending. So... But the real ending just leaves you with questions all over the place once you finish it. But yeah, I just didn't feel like going back into that. Limbo was a one-time only game. Not really worth going back through. So yeah, so that comes from Black the Fall. Let's see. Destiny beta kicks off Tuesday on PS4. It kicks off Wednesday on Xbox One. Preload is available right now for anybody, and I had meant to start that preload before I came to work today, but along with everything else, I had completely forgotten all of it. So I forgot to do that as well. Evo is happening right now on Twitch, so there's that I'm going to be interested in watching when I get home. So there's a lot of good things to watch and prepare for. Just maybe not a lot of things out there to play at the moment. That's brand new. It's kind of been a lull in the week here. I mean, I'm just looking over my new stuff here. New 3DS production is stopped in Japan. They've stopped that. Okay, we'll go into that in a minute. RJ, we didn't talk about what you've been playing. So why don't you give us a rundown of what you've been doing?
Lately, most of my week has been playing the golf club too. I'm still practicing trying to get those straight shots off the tee. Drivers and woods especially. Drivers and woods, I've finally learned that through practice and playing through some of the courses that I have to slow down my backswing because the direction of the stick going back, it determines how your shot's going to be when you push the thing forward. And I'm able to get perfect backswing and perfect front swings, forward swings down. But with drivers and woods, I'm always pulling slightly toward the right. I'm always slicing the thing. So basically, I'm at the point where just aim at it. Whatever I aim at, I'm not going to hit. So just aim at it. I'm guaranteed not to go there. I'll either go slightly left or slightly right to it, mostly to the right. So I've learned to adjust my gameplay based on that. So using the irons and the wedges and things like that, I'm pretty much accurate on that. The only thing with that is just trying to get the distances right. If I'm like 100 yards out from the pin, I have to get the right club, get the right loft, and get the right draw and fade, things like that. So I'm getting a little better at that. Played some society events in my society, the Brass Anchor. I've done that one. And I've also played another one, the Tags Society, the Amateur Golf Society. Got about 50, 60 folks in there. So we've been we've been having tournaments in that, trying to be competitive in that and getting more money for myself and the society as well. So I've been having a lot of fun doing that. Also played a little bit of Injustice 2, trying to get some more equipment for my main Swamp Thing, trying to get some equipment for him. I'm getting everybody else but him for some reason. So it's just going to be a little more issue of me playing more of that and trying to get as much as I can with that.
Well, good. Mm-hmm. Your Evo time is pretty much done.
Yeah, I mean, well, not quite. I mean, I had a good watch Friday with the King of Fighters 14.
You said that was a good one. You even posted on Facebook about it. What was? Walk us through that. What was great?
Two men entered, one man survived.
Yeah, that's it.
Basically.
Yeah, it was the top 8 was really entertaining. Seeing a lot of high level gameplay, of course, and then of course you also had the $14,000 pot bonus that was put in by SNK and Atlas. So with I think it was let's see if the guy pulled up. I think it was 374 entrants. So $10 from each entrant to the pot added to the 14,000 in there. So it made it really so the competition was going to be really tight in that one. So the finals was
300 entries seems kind of low.
374, but yeah.
Does that seem kind of low to you, or is that pretty average for that?
Yeah, it's about.
Or maybe
about
that's high for that game.
It's going to be a little higher. It's going to be maybe a little higher because of the pot bonus, but if it wasn't there, probably going to be around Melano. Maybe 200, a little over 200, something like that.
Yeah.
But it was the grand finals that was really interesting because it started late and it went into the wee hours of the morning. Mm-hmm. Really. So you had fatigue going on, mental fatigue going on.
You say wee hours in the morning, but they're in Vegas, which is 2 hours ahead, still behind us.
But they've been doing this all day, like early morning, and still keep going, keep playing.
True,
not even late. So yeah, the grand finals was a player from I believe Taiwan, ET, and Xiaohai from China, popular in the Street Fighter level of play, right? So they get to the grand finals, and ET is in the winners and Xiaohai is in the losers. So to reset the bracket, Xiaohai had to beat ET one set, first of 3, right? Mm-hmm. So ET got the early lead with 2 wins, and then Xiaohai won the next 2. So all the momentum would have been on Xiaohai's with Xiaohai if he won the 3rd one and reset the bracket, but ET pulled it out and got his 3rd win and won the thing, right? But it was a character that he picked that surprised everybody. It was Goro, a large grappler character that no one saw a lot of, but people knew that he used him, so he pulled him out and he used him to great effect in that match. It was really interesting to see the mix-up and change that he got with him. So yeah.
I'll be watching it for the Injustice competition, and because I'm always curious which ones are I guess are they doing Injustice 2?
They're doing Injustice 2. It's 880 entrants in that one.
Yeah.
It says
that's a lot.
Round 1 is completed. Should be in round 2. The finals, of course, is going to be
tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
Or is it today?
Injustice finals should be today. I'm looking at the Smash GG boards.
It must be tonight then.
Yeah. 5 Pacific, so what, 7 for us?
Yeah, that'll be 7
for us.
o'clock for us.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun to watch just to see which characters get picked and how they go through that.
Yeah.
I don't even think all the DLC characters have been released for that game yet. So.
No, the latest one was Sub-Zero. So,
yeah. Because I remember Batgirl last year. Well, was it last year? I don't know. I remember Batgirl was a DLC character for the first Injustice, and a lot of people were picking her for her style, and were actually doing well with her.
Yeah, I think
But she was a DLC character.
I think Sonic Fox didn't Sonic Fox win a?
Man,
I think he did win.
I think he did win one. I just watched the fights. I don't know anybody. I don't know any of the people.
Yeah,
that
I
do
remember
so.
it was a final between Sonic Fox. He was using Batgirl, and his opponent was using Catwoman, and Sonic Fox won that one.
Yeah, I'm only interested in those that like King of Fighters. I don't know. Guilty Gear XR. I don't know those.
Yeah.
But
817 in that one.
Smash Brothers, I'll watch. Marvel vs. Capcom, I usually step away from. I don't watch that one. But Smash Brothers is really fun to watch.
1428 in Super Smash Brothers Melee.
Yeah, Injustice I just watch only for the fact that it's got comic book characters, so I watch it.
Yeah.
Just like if I would watch Mortal Kombat or Killer Instinct.
And Super Smash Brothers for the Wii U has 1508.
So wait a second, there's 2 different Smash Brother tournaments?
There's Super Smash Brothers Melee and Super Smash Brothers for Wii U.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you got enough people want to play it, have at it.
Yeah.
Street Fighter V comes in with 2,625 entrants in that one.
Oh, yeah. I'm not interested in that, but I think aren't those
The
are the finals that are going to be broadcast on ESPN or whatever, right?
Yeah, probably going to be on ESPN again. Yeah, I think what people were talking about was the drop-off from what was it, 5,000 or something from its first run, but the drop in 50% of its players are gone now, but yeah. It is what it is.
Well, EVO is going on this weekend. You can watch it on Twitch. It's a fighting game tournament, which is just phenomenal to watch. You've got great moments that happen. I know a lot of people who listen to the show just listen to it because they keep their radio on the station. They'll tune in every now and again, and they'll tune in at their hearing every now and again to be like, oh, what is he talking about? If you're not into gaming, obviously it's not going to appeal to you, but if you're into great competition, it's fantastic to watch. It really, really is fantastic.
You don't have to play it, but you can watch the competition and they'll explain to you what's going on.
So, and that's what I get out of it the most, is seeing the competition and watching the comebacks of, like, this guy has got to win his next 3 matches if he wants to stay, and somehow they can come either really close or pull it off, and it's amazing.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened with King of Fighters. He was on the brink of elimination, won the next 2, so he could have reset the bracket, but
the skill level is amazing.
But he got so close that just the energy and the crowd and everything else, you're like, oh my God, this guy could do it.
Yeah.
And even though he doesn't, it's still one of those things. So, what were you saying, Matt?
Just the skill level of
it is. Yeah, it's amazing. So, we've got to take our next break because we took that last one really late. So obviously this segment was going to be shorter, but we're taking our next break. We'll come back with more. If you want to give us a call, you can. 334-272-9228 is the number. This is In-Game Chat. We'll be back with more. Going into music here from, I couldn't think of anything. So my head went, I'm trying to think of a game to get music from. I was like, what have we not used? What's out there? And my head goes back to this old VHS cassette copy of Gaming Tips and Tricks that I would rent from Movie Gallery or Video Express or one of those from way back when. And I was like, what? And it was only doing NES games. But I remember there being a game called R-Type.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I remembered Super R-Type from SNES days.
Yeah, a little side shooter.
Yeah, and so I went and grabbed music from Super R-Type. This is called R-Dance, whatever. We'll be back with more in-game chat after this. Welcome back to In-Game Chat. I'm Scott along with RJ and Matt. Don't forget our phone number is 334-272-9228 if you want to call in. Music here from a new game called Serial Cleaner. It's about a guy who goes around cleaning up murder scenes, but does it stealthily. It's weird. You have to clean up murder scenes but not get caught.
Okay.
I don't get that. I don't know why you got to do it without getting caught. But then again, I don't know the context of the story or anything.
Maybe you're not part of the union.
Yeah, maybe you're not part of the police. You're like
maybe.
You're
really obsessed with Mr. Clean.
No, I'm like mafia or organized crime situation happens.
That could
now
be
I need
the
you to
case.
clean this thing up before anybody finds out what's going on.
Or
Take
get
out
rid of the
evidence.
evidence.
Yeah, get rid of evidence here. Yeah, that'd be
I
a
think you
reason.
may have cracked the code.
I like Lethal Migraine. Serial Killer looks like you're cleaning up the mess that you made in the game Party Hard. Did you ever play Party Hard?
No.
I've seen it.
Wasn't that a song?
I've seen it, yeah.
Huh? As Andrew WK song.
Yeah.
But is it the same people? I don't think it is, because they haven't sent me any kind. Normally I get emails from those guys being like, "Hey, we're doing this," but I don't think that's Tiny Build.
Oh, AC Rate says yes. You are playing as a criminal. Yeah.
That's what I figured.
Yeah.
So, but Party Hard is a game where you're like you're not even a serial killer. You're just no. You go to parties and you kill people, but you do it not really stealthily, but you can't be seen.
Which would kind of be stealthily.
Because then they run and call the police, but then you can kill them before they get to a phone or something like that. You can set traps and stuff, and your object is to kill everybody at the party, including the DJ.
Oh.
Are you just like a neighbor who just don't like kids partying next door, and you just
there's a game called Hello Neighbor, done by the same team.
Okay.
Not same team, same publisher, Tiny Build, where you're sneaking into your neighbor's house, trying to figure out what secret he's got, because you think he's got some secret, and then the neighbor guy is out to find you. So it's a very, not necessarily survival horror, but it's a stealth survival type thing.
It's cat and mouse.
Yeah, it is. And then the thing about it is that he learns things. So like when you get caught the first time and you came in through a window, he'll have a trap set up by a window the next time. So it's interesting.
Yeah, force you to adapt.
Yes, yes. Very interesting how that game works out. So
I'd like to have a game where it's kind of like Rear Window.
Where you're confined to a wheelchair and can't move?
Or where you're in your house and the neighbor across the street and you have to try and sort of spy on them and see if they're the ones that, or the murderer. I don't know.
That might be interesting.
That's another movie I've heard all the time, but never seen.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite Hitchcock.
It's still talked about after all this time, so yeah, it had to have been a good film.
I was gonna ask a question last week, and we totally did not. Had Sarah in here, and I completely forgot about it. But Moltal sent us an email. Now I'm trying to find the thing. I had it. There it is. There you go. The ethics of reviewing early access. He says he was watching a bunch of Super Bunny Hop YouTube videos and was watching the ethics of reviewing early access. He gives us a link. He released it back in 2014. And Super Bunny Hop poses the question in his description, what standards should the game media hold early access games to? And how should they go about encouraging it? So discuss this. For me personally, I feel that if you are able to buy it, it should be reviewed. Inform the consumer to the fullest extent with all the usual items, but include the version they are on, a roadmap of how far along they are, what is missing, and how all of this comes to the user, and if there's any benefit to the user picking it up early. So what are your thoughts, and what early access games have you bought?
Players Unknown.
You've bought a lot of early access games, because a lot of the Kickstarter stuff eventually turns into early access games.
Yeah.
So I know you did that with
Broken Age.
Yeah.
I did that with Star Citizen. I did that with BattleTech.
Well, Star Citizen hasn't released in early access yet.
No, but
Star Citizen hasn't even
technically,
released.
when it does, prove that it's not vaporware, then, BattleTech, that's an early access. The Wasteland 2.
Right.
That was. But yeah, the current one up, is Players Unknown.
So, I mean, what do you think, though? Do you feel that I mean, how do you feel that gaming media should hold those games to? Do you care? Do you even consume
I think
that?
I like it for me as a consumer because that way I find it interesting to see how games progress. Where as opposed to just like getting like theoretically the full, final release of something, even though most of the times it's like patch day 1 or whatever. I kind of enjoy seeing how, as the new patches come out for Players Unknown or something like that, then, you could see how the development process is going along when they add stuff in, when they tweak things. I kind of like that.
I haven't bought a lot of early access games. I know that I have, and I can't remember what they are.
I do think that when people review it, definitely should say, "Hey, this is the version that I'm running." That way, you kind of know. Oh, wait, this might not be the final experiences might be different.
I would say review it as hard as you can, but just let them know. Like
Yeah.
I said,
It might be
this isn't finished yet.
Yeah.
So this may change in the future, but the way it is
Of
now,
course it might
this
be
is how
buggy.
I feel about it.
Yeah, it might be like my.
But isn't that the norm for reviewing a game? Is to be completely upfront about? Well, I don't know. Maybe this is some idyllic world that I'm living in, but that you should be completely transparent into how you got the game and its current state, because I mean that's what you're reviewing, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it should be.
I mean, you should always be able to tell them that the game is out now in early access for this price, that sort of thing. So I don't know.
And, I mean, I like if you could. Typically, I think with early access, you might be able to get it as a cheaper price than waiting for the full game release. So if it's a way of getting something for a little bit cheaper, yeah, you have to wait a little bit longer. But
Well, that's typical in reviews, isn't it? Like what is it? ACG's like wait for a buy or wait for a sale, something like that, or it's not worth it at this price, or
Yeah, I don't know if he's
something like
reviewed early access games. I mean, I'm sure he has. And I imagine he holds early access games the same standard he holds any other game. If it's available to buy, here's my review of it.
Yeah.
And it's tough to do that because obviously they're going to Arc was another one that started in early access. What is that game that is out now? We Happy Few is a game that is in early access right now. It has been for a very, very long time.
yeah.
The version of it that I played at some Microsoft event in Seattle was boring as hell. I hated playing it. I could not stand it, and I was hopeful for it because I loved the team behind it. But I was thrown into it without any kind of context whatsoever. So there was that going for it. But it totally turned me off of that. It totally turned me off of that game. And the more I read about it, the more I was even more turned off, where you really had to do, like, it was survival down to the minute aspects. You had to eat, you had to sleep, you had to drink water. Yes, you had to do all the things that give you life in order to survive, along with hiding out from all the other people who were out to get you. So, man, not something that kind of micromanagement was just not in my wheelhouse. Did not like that. For a character. For a city, I love that stuff. I love micromanagement in a city, in a city sim.
That's a bigger scale.
It is. It's a much bigger scale. So I enjoy it better in that regard. That's getting off topic, but I can't think of any early access games. But when I think about reviewers doing early access reviews, it's a tough thing to say because if you get it early enough, your review can be skewed in the sense that you can say, "Ah, man, this is horrible." And then
but they're still working on it.
2 years down the line, look at We Happy Few. That thing has been in development forever. It's been in early access for a long time. If they had taken, I'm sure things have changed immensely. So you go back to a review of it, and I guess more the question is, when do we review an early access game? How far into its development do you review an early access?
That's the thing. Like, how do you, unless you're in tune with the developer,
No
how do you
idea.
know? Yeah. If you could be like, all right, I'll try and review it now since it's been out and they're still in development for a couple more years, then you're still in that, well, things might change mode.
Yeah, I might be different, but I honestly hate early access games.
I don't know. I think, like I said, for consumer, maybe it's a way for, to get people like an intro into it to see if it's something that they might enjoy.
Honestly, I think
to get more money.
I was going to say it's almost 90% a marketing ploy. Let's put our game out there in an unfinished state, and then hopefully people will buy it in that regard, and we can make more money to finish it.
Yeah.
And that's, because Steam lets them do that, I'm like, all right, that's fine. You can do that. I don't particularly like that
model.
Right, which means I do exactly what I would tell anybody else to do who likes it or doesn't like it. Vote with your wallet. I just don't buy early access games.
I wonder if like a way of maybe, I don't want to say combating, but being different from that is, all right, say you're a company, small startup, whatever, and you have an idea and you're trying to do a full game, but yet you're still looking. I think part of the early access is you're still looking for money, for revenue to come in. What about just working on a demo? Here's like and have it be a full-fledged demo of the game and just like release like here, and then if the money comes in from that and the interest, then doing the rest of the game.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Kind of like, I look back at how Deus Ex, Human Revolution, leaked their first third of the game or so. It was a pretty big chunk.
You are. Well, it was.
That's what got a lot of, that's what got me interested. And as soon as I played that, I'm like, here's my money.
But that was never really going to be released in early access, and it was a AAA title. A AAA title.
Yeah. But I miss the days of demos.
Yeah.
From back when I was younger, and shareware demo. Yeah, and even like I really love. And I'll say this till my dying breath.
Demos didn't take as much space either.
Yeah, they didn't take as much space, but
and you got enough that you got a taste of the
feel.
game.
Yeah,
was that saying always leave them wanting more? Always leave them wanting more.
Yeah,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. The Half-Life demo uplink is my go-to for how it should be done.
Which is something I didn't experience.
Most demos like Doom or Hexen or Quake, even whatever, it'll be like the first level, right? Mm-hmm. Or the like if you have like 4 worlds, it'll be the first world, whatever.
Yeah.
Half-Life Uplink was a completely standalone thing that wasn't a part of the main game. So when you get the main game, you're not retreading the same first level. But you get a feel for the AI, you get a feel for the weaponry, you get a feel for the environment, you get a feel for the characters. Everything. So it's like I guess maybe like taking like the first like a standalone part of your game and just releasing that way, because I've had it where like, all right, I've already played this part. When Dark Forces came out, I played the snot out of that demo back in college when I should have been studying. And when I finally got the game, I knew every single ins and outs of that first level, stealing the Death Star plans, because I played it so much on the demo form. If I would have had like a whole nother separate level that would give me like all the feel for it, then like that would be one more level of the game that I would have new and fresh and an experience to, as something that I've already done.
Mm-hmm.
So
what's odd is that I just got an email from Tiny Build Games with the Steam code for Party Hard 2 Alpha 2.
EX Turbo.
I know. Well, it's their alpha. It's their second alpha.
I was about to say about add alpha to that title.
So they took the first level from Alpha 1, included it in here, and then threw another level in there. I have no idea how far away this game is from being released. But...
Did you ever do Party Hard?
Oh yeah, and I streamed it too.
Okay. I'll have to watch some of that, see how that looks.
It may be up on YouTube. I don't remember. I don't know. That was an easy game to stream because it was so... The requirements on that thing was so non-existent.
Basic.
It was so easy to stream that stuff. Tiny Build does a lot of that.
Yeah, if you can make a fun game,
Tiny Build, they don't necessarily make games, but they
leave a lot of bells and whistles on it.
They publish a lot of games. All right, stop.
Well,
I don't know. It's got a
old equipment, folks, but bear with us for a moment.
Well, I think it was this thing, like still vibrating.
Still vibrating.
Yeah. Those springs, man. So Tiny Build doesn't necessarily develop a lot of games, but they do help publish a lot of games.
Right.
Okay.
They finally released Speedrunners on Xbox.
Yeah, I saw that.
It was a game with gold thing.
Yeah. What was it? I think it was like $9 for $10 for the base, and then like with all the DLC it was like maybe 16, I think.
Or free if you had gold, by the way.
Yeah.
And I got that and tried to play it multiplayer. Wasteland. There was nobody there.
Nobody there. Yeah.
There's nobody there.
Because I remember when
it started dipping into people who were, or to people who were ranked higher than me, like much higher than me, and it still couldn't find anything.
Yeah. How long ago was it we were playing it after the show in here?
Oh,
How many years ago?
Oh, God, years and years ago.
3, 2, 3?
It's still, PC, you could still find people.
Yeah.
Xbox One, nothing.
I'm betting it's the same on PlayStation Network.
Maybe. I don't know. I haven't
probably
played
is.
it, so
Yeah.
they haven't offered that for free.
That's a shame. It is,
Yeah, a
'cause-
couple of people add up to or jump into our group on Xbox Live, our community on Xbox Live.
Right.
Had a few people jump into that in the past couple of weeks, so welcome. Yeah. So anyway, on the topic of early access, I'm not a fan of it. It all depends, I suppose, by maybe their pedigree or maybe their enthusiasm. Maybe letting other people dip into it and then tell me, is that worth jumping into? And then they can't. Yeah, that's the other thing. I usually try and pick things up on sales, but early access games rarely ever take a cut.
At what point does it stop being early access and starts being beta?
I think it's all beta.
Because you say you're not a fan of early access, but yet you're doing the Destiny 2 beta.
Yeah, well, but Destiny 2 is, well, okay. That's a whole nother topic to talk about. Even games that get released, fully released, still feel like early access with all the game patches and everything else you get for them. You know, that's a completely different topic of conversation.
But so I'm just wondering, when does it stop being early access? If you're playing the beta and start being
I think early access and beta
like sort of like alpha
is the same thing. And early, like Lethal Migraine says, early access is a game in development. A beta.
Let's get the definitions down first.
Still
Yeah,
development.
A beta is not necessarily in development. A beta is more...
The game's mostly fully formed, but they're still tweaking.
Yeah.
But they still could
Lethal Migraine says beta is usually testing out something like servers.
Right, yeah.
Or stress test, maybe.
Yeah.
Because they did that for Dark Souls. They gave us access to test the servers out.
I would say early access is more of an early access and alpha are the same thing.
Because I know the BattleTech's been in beta, that's what they're calling it. But even after once the beta stopped, then they went back and all right, let's rework this, let's redo that, and they still,
But again, releasing a beta is releasing something or putting it out there for them to test a certain thing.
Okay.
So it might still be in early access, and then they release a beta so they can test a few,
version of it.
Yeah, they can test a few mechanics or servers or loads or something like that, and then go back and switch it and okay, we're gonna put this aspect in beta type of thing. So Multal says these definitions are flexible to the dev and the publisher.
I
agree
where Drunk Degenerate says the Destiny 2 beta is free. Don't you have to pre-order?
You got to pre-order to get access.
Only if you want to get the early access. It's going to be open.
Okay.
It's going to be an open beta come the weekend.
Okay.
So
I see.
I'll get to, because I'm on PS4 and Xbox, people get to play it on the 18th and 19th. Everybody else gets to play it the 20th through that weekend, the 20th through the 23rd or something like that.
Yeah.
Or the 21st.
You get earlier.
PS4 gets the middle of the week, and then everybody else gets the weekend.
Yeah, 21st through the 23rd.
So you get an early access to the beta.
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah. But it is still a hard beta. That's not necessarily an early access. You're also getting a very small amount of the game, whereas early access, I think, gives you everything that's available. That's another question.
Yeah.
On an early access game there's a lot of early access games that I see, like Wasteland 2, which is a massive game.
Yes.
Prison Architect was an early access game, and that's just a prison builder thing. Not necessarily anything that has a story attached to it or here's how many levels you can go through or anything like that. It's all very never-ending type of thing, like Terraria in early access, where it just keeps going. And now I'm trying to figure out where it was going. Are there early access games that release in a sense that you can... Early access games that are available, is that the full game? I mean, obviously they still have to add things to it, but is it something where you can get to the end of it? And if it's not, is it the end of it that the early access allows? Is there a level at the end saying, hey, thanks for playing this thing and doing it. Go back and play some more and keep telling us what we can do to fix it. This is not the end of the game, but this is the end of the early access trial. I don't know. Demos have an ending.
They do.
Usually. They either have a time limit or there's something that ends the demo. Is there something that ends early access, or does it go on forever? Ark went on forever.
I would guess it depends if the game has an end game to it, where, like BattleTech is just like skirmishes, so there's no real end game.
Multal says there's been early access games that have been a story that have a stop to them.
Okay.
What I ask on that is that, what if you play through the thing? What if you get to the ending before they've released the game? Do you have any drive to go back and play it again? Unless they've added more levels?
Yeah, it might not be the full thing. Like, I didn't play the early access for Broken Sword 5. I backed it and everything, but I didn't actually like play it. I just waited till the finished thing. But I'm guessing like it wasn't the full game. It was just like, here's a section of it, in a way like a demo, sort of. And then once you play through, see how it works. Because they were still saying like, hey, if we get more money, then we could get like more dialogue and more voice acting and more stuff like that.
That sounds like a Kickstarter. It sounds like a
it was a Kickstarter. I don't know, man. That's I mean, like certain games just don't lend themselves to end game. Like Players Unknown. You could always just hit reset and go back to another player.
Most of the early access games that I come across that people. Player Battlegrounds Unknown, Player Unknown's Battlegrounds, whatever.
Yeah.
That's something that, while it does have an ending, you're playing in rounds, multiplayer, that sort of thing. You just continue to keep playing, and you get a different experience. It's a what's the term for something like that? I guess where it's a different experience every time you play, even though it has a beginning, a middle, and an end. It doesn't have a story attached to it.
Yeah.
So. Most of the time when I think of early access games, I think of things that are just continuous. Like you just sit down and pick a scenario and play it, and then you sit down again after you're done and play a different scenario every single time. Not something story-wise. Like, let's look at Super Mario Brothers. Let's just go basic as we can. Super Mario Brothers, 8 worlds, right?
Go right, jump. Yes.
Yeah, Bowser at the end.
But not the princess.
Something in that vein that has a beginning and an end, and it's released in early access. If it is, do you get levels 1 through 5 until they get more funding to finish it off? And do they put an ending at 5 and say, this is as far as we've got, thanks for playing? Or do they give you the entire game, and then once you finish it, they say, hey, we went back, and in level 4, we added a couple of gaps that you got to jump over, and in level 8, we added more spinny fire trap things. I don't know. And does that drive you to go back and play it? If you finished it.
Yeah.
There's a lot with early access that I just don't like. But I don't mind people doing it. I don't care. I just say that if it's in early access,
it's just not your jams.
I'll skip it. Unless of course I see it at a very low price, which I think I did once for Kerbal Space Program. I'm not sure if that was an early access or not. No, somebody gifted that to me, actually.
I want to play that. I
think that was the Balkov fan.
There's tons of videos on Kerbal Space Programs of how not to build a rocket.
Oh, yeah.
They're trying to make disaster films when they build theirs for space.
There's the word I was looking for, procedural generation. Multal comes in with it. God, Multal, why don't you live here? Actually, it's too hot here, but why don't you live here and just come into the show? Procedural generation could be a crutch for early access devs in that arena, or that area. I agree. That's the word I was trying to find, is procedural generation.
Is that for Players Unknown? Procedural generated?
The maps are, aren't they?
No, the map's the same.
No. I mean, the map is...
Locations of weapons is procedurally generated.
But the house in the map is always in the same spot every single time?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the map itself is the same.
That's interesting.
So, Polinsky is going to be like, there's there, or the hospital's there, or the school's going to be there.
But items are
items in it.
Items
that's
are random.
Okay.
But it's always
vehicles are random.
Vehicles are random too. Okay.
Yeah.
But the buildings are always in the same spot.
Yeah.
Every single time. Okay. I didn't know.
Yep.
Are there different modes of play in that game though?
They're working on a zombie mode.
Yeah.
And I think they were also working on other maps.
I was going to say, is there just the one map?
Right now. But they're working on I think a smaller map and a bigger map. And
zombie mode, is that getting along the lines of a multiplayer? You have to have a zombie mode. Are we getting there?
I don't know. I mean, I saw a video of it and it looked fun.
Was this game built off of a zombie mode?
It was built off of Arma.
It was Arma. Okay.
It was an Arma mod.
DayZ was built off of Arma.
Also an Arma mod, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Never mind.
But
Yeah.
yeah, like everybody jumps in. Only one team has weapons. Everyone else is a zombie. They're run super fast and punch super hard. It looked interesting.
Okay.
Yeah. By the way, not New Colossus. Old Blood. Enemies turned into zombies. Yeah, there was a turn. There was a turn.
I saw a video.
There was a turn around level 6 where all of a sudden you're fighting zombies. Then it's like, oh great.
Did you get to a point where BJ is like sawing the barrel off of a shotgun? He's looking up in the zombie mode. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
That's when you get the sawed-off shotgun, which I think is the last weapon that you actually get in the game. That's the final weapon you get.
I need to replay that one. I don't remember the ending that well.
I still haven't. I bought it. I still haven't played it yet, but yeah.
Well, then I won't spoil anything on what the final guy is that you fight. But it's a very large creature.
Yeah.
In a very big hole.
I think I saw a video of that too. So.
It's a zombie, or not a zombie. It's a mummy.
Yeah.
It's a big giant mummy. It's a big cartoonish giant mummy. And I
beat the game and I'm just drawing a blank.
We're talking again. I've already talked about this. I didn't like that ending. I loved the world building and the narrative. I'm always big into that whole Hitler was searching for the staff of the Spear of Destiny and all this other stuff. All the religious artifacts and stuff. I've always been fascinated by that sort of thing. So reading the lore that you would come across, like notes and stuff, and read that stuff. It was talking about their expedition to search for these buried treasures and things like that. And that was fascinating. Most of it had nothing to do with any kind of real world stuff, but I was loving it. And then of course they turn into zombies, and I'm like, okay, obviously you're gonna have zombies, which you didn't have zombies in New Order. And then the giant thing at the end, you didn't have that at the end of New Order.
You had vampires in Spear of Destiny.
I know, I don't go back that far, but I'm
okay.
But in the world that they built right now, which is
it's a different world.
Yeah, Old Blood. I think obviously Old Blood is exactly what it says it is. It's kind of a throwback to what those games were previously, and in that way it fits. Connecting it to New Order, it doesn't seem to fit too well. Because of those things. So who is on? We need to take a break. Mumnut? Haven't heard from Mumnut in a long time. Hey, Mumnut.
You sound like you were scared to take this call.
I haven't heard from you in forever, dude.
I know, I died.
Well, thanks for talking to us from the great beyond.
Oh, I'm a zombie now.
In the hole?
Yeah, exactly.
I've been playing 7 Days to Die a lot lately. How about that? Y'all like that game?
Not a game I've played. RJ, did you play that?
No, but I think Chris played that a lot.
Chris played that a lot.
Yeah, he was having a good time with that one. Yeah, he really
I think
was.
Leah in the chat room played that too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, and I've seen you on playing that and Minecraft and Ark, and you've been gaming a pretty good bit there, man.
Well, I do.
I know.
But I'm wondering, is Chris, is he there?
No, Chris is not here. He called in earlier.
Well, I was just wondering if he could mention what server he'd be playing on, if he's playing on an official server or not.
He's not playing on PC, he's playing on PS4.
So, can't interact?
No, they don't cross.
No cross-platform on that one.
Yeah, there's no cross there.
Yeah.
So.
They do, that is available though, right? For other
Not
games?
For other games, yes. And I believe the only other game you got cross-available play is Rocket League. And maybe a couple.
Why is that?
It's just. I guess it'd be hard to get different systems to talk to each other.
It amounts to time. It amounts to money because time is money, and it amounts to the willingness of the look. Sony is really weird about their stuff, as we found out when Microsoft wanted to have a very open platform for Minecraft and say, look. If you've got it on Nintendo, if you've got it on PC, if you've got it on PS4 or Microsoft, you'll all get to play together. But Sony was like, "No, we don't want to do that. We don't want to intermix with you guys." So Sony was the only holdout for that. So yeah, it all depends on It's a business negotiation, man. That's what it all comes away with. So
Street Fighter 5 does that.
Yeah.
Cross-platform as well.
But no, we're behind on taking a break here, but thank you for calling. I haven't heard from you in forever, man.
All right, y'all have a good weekend.
You
Bye.
too.
Okay, now.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, more of in-game chat. Maybe more of your calls if you'd like. 334-272-9228. Here is music. By the way, Just Cause 3 mod is coming out.
Multiplayer.
Yes, the multiplayer mod is coming out very, very soon, so I grabbed some music from Just Cause 3. It's the Medici theme. We'll be back with more on in-game chat here in a bit. Fun little music here, isn't it?
It is.
Welcome back to In-Game Chats.
Until then.
No, that's great. It's like, oh.
Yeah. Welcome back to In-Game Chat. I'm Scott. That's Matt. Also RJ. This is music from Teslagrad.
Okay.
It's actually the credits music that plays. Got a very Elfman sense to it.
Kinda.
It was still there. Yeah. I love the aesthetic of the game. I don't even know much about it, but I looked at it and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. And then I listened to the music. I was like, seems like something I might like. So, welcome back to the show, our last segment here. And before I get to the phones, actually, you know what? We'll bring him in. But I want to hit up on a couple of things before we move on. Hey, Moltile.
Ahoy, hoy.
Hello. I just want to hit up these really quick news items. They were talking about VR in the room there, and Oculus for the next 6 weeks has a huge deal.
The big discount.
Yeah, the Rift with the Touch, which is normally like $800, I think, is now on sale for, I think, $400.
Mm-hmm.
400, 450 was it? I
No, it has a limited time sale on the Rift and Touch controllers, $400. Normally, the Rift is priced at $500 and the Touch are $100, so $600. Purchasing the pair last December when Touch launched would have cost $800. 7 months later, and that total is halved, at least for a little bit. So right now, $399 gets you a Rift and a Touch. It's a very good deal. Best Buy currently has this deal where you'll get an actual free game when you do this. This is the VR for your PC. Seriously, if they're going to start coming down on these prices like this is what they need to do. And in fact...
I was just going to cut in. What I was reading before was it's going to have a permanent price cut after the summer sale.
Yes, it'll go back. It'll go up $100, but
it's still cheaper than what it was.
Yeah, so it's going to be $400, or it's going to be $500? Yeah, it'll be $500 after the 6-week sale, but you can get it for $100 less for the next 6 weeks. They're doing a Rift summer event type thing, and that's a fantastic price. And if they start coming down on this stuff, I think a lot more people are going to jump into it. I'm not even looking at what Lethal Migraine's talking about because I know he hates VR. I know he hates VR. So if you're looking for PC VR, that's a good place to start. The best thing about Oculus is, all right, so the Vive, you can play the games that are released on Steam for Vive, and that's great. But the Oculus can play those games along with the games that are released on the Oculus Store. So
there is the Revive, where it's a piece of software that enables you to play the Oculus games. They had a bit of a kerfuffle, I think it was last year.
You're right. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Where they tried to stop it, and the guy just changed the code and was just like, "Yeah, I would prefer not to change the code so people can just download your games for free because that's not what I want to do. But this is how you've strangled my code to just do it." So they reversed the code, and now you can buy it normally.
Yeah, and the other thing that I wanted to hit on was the Humble Capcom bundle right now, which I
picked it up.
I took advantage of it as well.
So if anyone wants a copy of Resident Evil 6,
I don't know what I've got that overlapped, but $12 getting all those games, I was like, sure, that's fine.
Because I was looking at Dead Rising 3, and that alone.
For $12, you get Strider, Umbrella Corps, DMC Devil May Cry, that's the remake, the deluxe edition upgrade of Umbrella Corps, Dead Rising 2 expansion, Resident Evil HD, Resident Evil 0 HD, Resident Evil 6, Dead Rising 2 Complete, and Dead Rising 3 Apocalypse Edition. $12 gets you all of those games. It is fantastic.
Yeah, I already had 2 and the Frank West expansion and Resident Evil 6.
So yeah, the other thing I've got here is that Logitech bought Astro for $85 million. Logitech is just exploding. You're doing
they have the money to spend. They're picking up companies left, right, and center.
They are, yeah.
Seems to be doing well for them.
Matt, you're doing the elusive target tomorrow for Hitman?
Yeah.
That is the final elusive target.
The final for the season.
Yes. And what else did we have in there? I think we talked about the Just Cause 3 multiplayer. And yeah, there's possibly a standalone VR headset from Oculus that may be coming out soon for $200. That we'll have to.
It's got a mobile guts in it, so the sort of a Snapcom processor. I don't have the story up, but yeah, it's meant to be a standalone sort of system, but it's trying to compete on a very small market that like Sony and things have been in before, where it's literally just a monitor you put on your face. It seems a bit odd to release something like that at this stage when they're like cutting prices on their main product and they're releasing something that's much lower tier. There's supposedly not any like head tracking in it.
Yeah. Now I want to point out something before we move on. Was that Multal called right when we were coming back for a break. So for those of you who we were talking to early where I had to run because we were going into a break, the reason I haven't cut Multal off yet is because we're not going into a break at all. He called right when we were coming back from a break. So just to let you know.
You start to learn these tricks when you're listening so much.
Yeah, exactly. So just keep that in mind. I'm not playing favorites. It's just that he called when we were coming back from a break, which gives us all the time in the world to chat with him. Plus, he's calling probably longer distance than
Wetumpka?
Anybody else has called. So yeah.
No, you've had a few further callers. I think more Central European callers. So
not today.
Drunk Degenerates calls
today, yeah.
Every now and again. We talk to him, and I think he's further than you.
Yeah, slightly more.
Yeah,
east.
So, no. Spam Daddy's like, hey, I'm in Wetumpka. Yeah, I know, that's great, and I love the fact that you're listening from Wetumpka. Multal's listening from Ireland. So
yeah.
So, and I appreciate you calling in. What do you want to talk about today?
Oh no, I just thought I'd buzz in and see how everyone's doing.
Have you played any of those games I got you?
I have played every single one of those games, but
and
some of them
beat them all, right?
No, I don't have the time for that, but I wish I could. Actually, one game that wasn't on our list, but I was playing because it was in the same sort of bracket as games that you like.
Yeah.
Was The Room, which I completely completed this week.
Oh, I fully endorse people playing The Room.
Oh yeah, but 100%. Like I said in the.
I endorse people watching The Room.
No. We're talking about the iOS game. Of course,
I was talking about the movie.
Yeah, we had those guys on our show, or at least we had one of the guys on our show.
Was it a duo, a man and a woman doing it? The dev team, I think it was.
No, that you're thinking of. The first man and woman team that I'm thinking of is the N Plus guys.
Yeah.
From MetaNet.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, MetaNet.
Right.
That's a long time ago. That's a long time ago when we had them on. No, we had one guy from Fireproof Games who was talking about The Room, and of course I suggested to everybody last weekend to pick up. Now I've forgotten it. Da Vinci's. What is it called? Not Da Vinci's Quest. Oh man, Da Vinci something. God, what is that game? It's an iOS game.
I even linked it last time, and now I have no idea.
I know, and I am
the House of Da Vinci.
House of Da Vinci. God, I hate when that happens. I hate when I have brain farts like that. House of Da Vinci is so much like The Room, and again, here's where we go back and say that Inside and Black the Fall were too similar that I didn't want to jump into it.
Right.
It's not the same with stuff like The Room. If anything's similar to The Room, I want to play it all the time. So more clones of that game, perfectly fine with me. And House of Da Vinci is doing it very well. That's the other game that I played recently, but that's the iOS game. I got further along in it, and I'm loving every single bit of it. It is wonderful. So,
nice. Well, I've got The Room. I've completed The Room. I've got The Room 2 installed. And then the other ones, I think the cream of the crop of the ones you got me, I would say, is the Talos Principle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a really good one.
You're exactly right on that being the cream of the crop, man.
It is. Let me just click open. I've played 80 minutes of it, but I have cleared 4 of the rooms for the areas, islands. I don't know what you call it. It is good fun, and I cannot wait until it gets even more complex. It does some of the very, very good things that Portal laid down of teaching you the mechanics as you go through, which is quite nice.
Mm-hmm.
They don't force it down your throat. Next up was the sort of putting these in order. It seems like Enter the Gungeon.
Yep.
Feel like the roll mechanic and the controls are a little bit muddy in comparison to other games that are similar to this. Like Nuclear Throne was much more. It felt much more precise to me, even though they're very, very similar. I like the dodge mechanic, and I like the whole sort of shmup aspect of like throwing loads of bullets at you.
Yeah.
But it is, again, it's probably just something that I haven't like gelled with. It's like kind of like Dark Souls. If you're new to it, you have to spend a bit of time sort of steeping yourself in the mechanics of it. But it does still feel a little bit muddy, and like the controls are a little bit off as well, or something. Don't know. I'm playing with the controller because I heard that was good to try out. Both of them, but. Yeah, it was like a good selection so far.
Well, good. I'm glad you're enjoying it. And Talos Principle is fantastic. Did I get you the collector's edition on that, where it comes with the DLC?
I think so. I think I have an option for it, but I haven't clicked anything. I've just went straight to the main game every time.
Yeah, because I don't even think I've downloaded or even bought the DLC for that, and it's been on sale quite a few times. And I really want to get back into it, but I finished that game, and I just feel like I do want to revisit the world eventually, but I don't know, man. It was just so good, so well done. Did you finish it?
Oh no, I'm still working my way through.
Man, wait till you get to the tower.
Oh yes. It was just made a mention of like the guy was like, "Oh, you're not to go in the tower," and I was just immediately like, "Yeah, I'm going in there. Of course I'm going in there. That's the whole thing. Of course I'm going in the tower."
Yeah.
Like, you're telling me I'm not allowed to.
Well, the tower is made up of a bunch of different levels as you move your way up, and then of course once you get to the very top of the tower, That's sort of there's other puzzles up there.
Is that when you get the axe? 'Cause I think I'm pretty far in it. I'm in the in the tower, but yeah.
I can't remember.
Oh, you should get on that, Matt, and hopefully I'll have it completed by the time you got it completed as well.
I've got
Have a
so much
roundtable
other
discussion.
things going on right now.
Spam Daddy, we will not. Spam Daddy, we will not spoil any of this stuff. Telling you about the tower is not spoiling the game. I promise.
No, you learn about this very early on. Like I would have thrown my headset off if the conversation went any further of where we're going. Don't worry, I'm in the same camp as you, Spam Daddy.
Yeah, so we're not gonna spoil it for you.
Really good game though.
Fantastic game. And Crow Team, actually, not Cry Team. Crow Team. The Serious Sam guys made a really serious game.
Yeah.
And they used the writer from, oh God, what's that game where you're an astronaut and you can make copies of yourself?
The Swapper.
Yes, the Swapper. Yeah. They
That's
used the
also
writer.
a good one too.
Yeah, they used the writer from the Swapper to write all the philosophical entries in that game. It was fantastic, just wonderful. So.
Yeah, I would recommend to anyone having a wee nosy at the history of that of the of their games and things, because it is very interesting to hear about how they came about creating the Talos Principle, because they were still working with Serious Sam.
They were trying to do another Serious Sam, and they were building levels for it, and they came across a mechanic, I guess the laser light mechanic or whatever it was. And they're like, hey,
or something.
Yeah, and they're like, hey, wait a second, let's make a game out of this, and they did, and then boom. They came up with Talos Principle and developed a full game out of it. And it is fantastic. So, Multal, we got to run, though, but thank you so much for calling.
Oh, not a problem. Hopefully next time I'll catch you with a bit more time. Seriously, though, everyone have a great day. I'll see you soon.
You too, man. Talk to you later.
Cheers, mate.
All right, that is going to do it for our show. Thanks, everybody, for joining us in the chat room. Thanks for everybody who called today. We really appreciate it. I'm sorry I keep cutting you off. We're getting close to the end of a break, and that's when we had to go. But feel free to call back anytime. Thanks to everybody who grabs us each week from iTunes or however you get our show. Thanks. We really appreciate it. Go to ingamechat.net and join us on Twitter. Join us on Facebook. Find our forums at colonyofgamers.com if you feel like it. Nobody talks over there. That's fine. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. You're watching us on Twitch. Hit the subscribe button. Sign in. Log in. Then you'll get an email every time we go live, whether we're streaming this show or streaming at home from games. You'll get an email to let you know when we go live. If you got Steam, join our Steam group. If you've got an Xbox One, we've got a group there. If you got a PS4, we've got a group there. It's all over the place for you. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate everybody in the chat room who showed up. Let me see if I can get a real quick reading on that, in case they've all left. AC Wraith, Arioka, Drunk Degenerates, Evans 04111, Leia 4203. I won't say that first part.
Frackin'.
Lethal Migraine, Multal, Orco 83, Spam Daddy 44, Tactus 59, Medusa's Mirror, hanging out in the chat room as well. So thank you, everybody who shows up for the show, and we will talk to you next week. Have a great week. We'll see you next Saturday. Here's music from Final Fantasy VII. No, I'm sorry, it's 12. The Zodiac Age. We'll see you next week. We'll see you next week.